And then we had Paul Zak. Paul Zak is a neuroeconomist, and she interviewed him, and I thought it was interesting because he said maybe what this recession will bring is an opportunity to sort of, and he didn't like the word cleansing, but it was because it's associated now with terrible things in many ways, genocidal cleansing, ethnic cleansing, but a cleansing of our obsession with stuff. And that we may have an opportunity then to step back and neurologically point out that this life we're living of overconsumption and time poverty and excessive speed and multitasking may really not even be good for us physically, neurologically, that kind of thing. So I gave you that dialogue between Dr. Zak and Krista Tippett so you'd have a chance to read that too. And I just found it compelling that so many people are coming at this topic from different angles, people who talk about faith and ideals and things that matter. So that's there for you too. And then I think my last one was the interview with Eckhart Tolle. He's been highly recommended by Oprah and all these. So, you know, you get these people out there that would normally not have an audience very quickly by just one endorsement. Eckhart Tolle's work isn't new in any way. I mean, I've been reading this stuff for years, and you probably have too. Awareness, awareness, awareness. Tony DeMello did it as a Jesuit Buddhist in Southeast Asia, and lots of other folks have done it. He's just simply packaging it in a way that's more palatable to the modern secular audience. But his point is this, that consciousness is the beginning of change. Every major religious tradition and spiritual foundational practices and guidelines are full of that. Mindfulness, consciousness, awareness. So we've got a beautiful avenue through spirituality to address the kind of fundamental changes that I think we're all here for. A change in the way that we view and accept a shift in our lives from excessive identity with work to a greater identity with relationships and happiness. Now, I got to tell you, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross so inspired me in '78 that I embarked on probably a 30-year interest in death and dying. And one of the things that I do as pro bono work from my job in therapeutic recreation is that I videotape with people who are dying. And I especially like to videotape young parents who are leaving children behind. And what I've learned from them is that when you don't have a lot of time, time is of the essence. People say, what's a recreation person doing working with the dying? Well, because, you know, that's really why. Your time it becomes your treasure. So what I want to suggest to all of you is that we expand our concept of spirituality to raising our consciousness about the value of our memories and the value of what we have learned in life. And I would think it would be a success if every one of you went home, put a video camera in front of you, and sat down and talked to the people you love about the things you value most. I've already done it. I'm not waiting for somebody else to do a eulogy over me. I've got a tape in my drawer that my family will play when I die that talks about what I think is the most important thing in life, most important, wonderful things in life. And so I would encourage you to do that too. It's a great spiritual activity that you could do and you can encourage others to do that would allow you to think thoughtfully about what you value and encourage that message to get to the people who you love. Look at all the time we spend leaving things to our children. You know, my mother had her list of all the things she was going to leave everybody, you know, rings and all this kind of stuff. And in the end, the most important thing she left, in my view, was the videotape that she made with me about her life and what she thought was of value in her life. And that takes time. So many people won't sit down and make a tape because they say they don't have the time. So I'm really interested in giving people the time to create spiritual legacies because I know that that's the way we're going to teach the next generation to value what we value, leisure and time, more than stuff and work and that kind of thing. I always tell my students, I don't know anybody who put on their tombstone, I wish I'd gone to the office more. And I don't believe that when the planes hit the towers on 9/11, folks were rushing to do those final stock market purchases. I think they were desperately calling their families. So if only we could live with the awareness that the people I videotape with have, and that's the preciousness of the time that we have, I think that would be an immediate quantum leap. And all the spiritual traditions focus on that. Let's remember how precious this gift of time is. Let's celebrate that, and let's raise our consciousness to the spiritual things that matter rather than to the transient things that really don't matter. So I'm going to yield whatever time I have left, and once the other speakers get finished, I hope we'll have an enlivened conversation about the role that spirituality has to play in this cultural correction on the value of time. Thank you so much.